Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are talking about pain relief, but not just any pain relief, non-invasive pain relief.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic, and we've all experienced pain at some point, and who wouldn't want to relieve it without, going under the knife or popping pills all the time?
Exactly.
So to guide us on this journey into the world of non-invasive pain relief, we're going to be taking a close look at this fantastic source here, Non-Invasive Pain Relief. Emerging treatments and therapies.
Great source.
Really is.
Oh.
Yeah. So, without further ado, let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
I guess let's start with the big question. Why is there so much buzz around these non-invasive pain relief options right now? I mean, what's fueling this growing interest?
Well, you hit the nail on the head with, not wanting to go under the knife or pop pills.
Mm-hmm.
There are growing concerns about traditional pain management approaches, like the heavy reliance on opioids,
Right.
Or the risks associated with surgery and
Yeah.
and really the cost.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So these non-invasive treatments, are they kind of like a paradigm shift in how we approach pain?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, they offer a potential for a real paradigm shift because they aim to address pain without those drawbacks that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Fewer side effects, less risk of addiction, and often, they end up being lower cost.
Okay. That's promising.
Yeah.
But there are so many different therapies out there. Where do we even begin? Like, what's a good starting point for this conversation?
Let's start with one that's been generating a lot of buzz lately, and that's red light therapy.
Okay.
Or RLT.
RLT. Okay, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
But I've got to be honest, I'm a little skeptical. Like, shining a red light on yourself to relieve pain sounds a little too good to be true.
I understand the skepticism for sure, but there's a growing body of evidence supporting its effectiveness, particularly for certain types of pain. And the way it works is it uses these specific wavelengths of red light to penetrate the tissues and stimulate cellular processes.
Oh, so it's not just about warmth
No.
or increased blood flow.
Right. It's deeper than that.
There's something happening at the cellular level.
Exactly. RLT is thought to enhance energy production within cells. It promotes healing and reduces inflammation.
Wow.
But it's important to note, it's not a cure-all.
Right.
While it's promising for surface-level pain, its effectiveness for deeper tissue issues or chronic pain conditions is still being investigated.
That's an important point. I think it's easy to get caught up in the hype with any of these new therapies, so it's crucial to, understand the limitations.
Absolutely.
Okay, so RLT, what about tenderness therapy? I've seen those little devices advertised everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So 10NS stands for transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation.
Okay.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, yes.
But it's another widely used non-invasive method, and it involves applying these low-voltage electrical currents to the skin to disrupt pain signals.
Okay.
And stimulate the release of endorphins, which are the body's natural painkillers.
So it's not actually fixing the problem, but it's kind of like interrupting the pain signals before they reach the brain?
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
That's a clever approach.
Yeah.
So what types of pain does TNS work best for?
It's been shown to be effective for various acute and chronic pain conditions, including back pain, neck pain, even nerve pain, and it's also frequently used for post-operative pain management.
Okay, I'm curious about the long-term implications of using 10NS for pain management. Are there any potential downsides to relying on it long-term?
That's a great question. And while it's generally considered safe, it's not a permanent solution.
Right.
It's best used as part of a comprehensive pain management plan.
Okay.
That might include other therapies, lifestyle modifications, and addressing underlying causes.
That makes sense. So it's not just about, slapping on a 10NS unit and calling it a day.
Right.
Okay, so you've got light therapy, electrical stimulation. What about this PEMF therapy I keep hearing about? It sounds a little mysterious.
Yeah, it does a bit. PEMF stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Field Therapy.
Okay.
And it's based on the idea that electromagnetic fields can influence cellular function and promote healing.
Okay, but isn't everything made up of electromagnetic fields? How is this different?
You're right. Everything does emit electromagnetic fields, but PEMF therapy utilizes specific frequencies and intensities of pulsed electromagnetic fields to target tissues and stimulate these healing processes.
So it's kind of like 10NS, but instead of using electrical currents applied to the skin, it's using these pulsed fields to reach deeper tissues.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Okay.
And PEMF is being explored for a wide range of applications.
Wow.
Including bone fracture, healing osteoarthritis, and even chronic pain conditions.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing. Are there any risks associated with exposing yourself to these electromagnetic fields?
PEMF therapy is generally considered safe when used appropriately.
Okay.
However, as with any therapy, it's essential to consult with a healthcare professional to determine if it's right for you and to receive proper guidance.
All right, that's good advice. Now, you mentioned earlier this shift away from reliance on pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
For pain relief, does PEMF offer a viable alternative in that sense?
It's certainly showing promise, and research is ongoing to understand its full potential. Some studies suggest that PEMF can reduce the need for pain medication, but more research is needed to confirm these findings.
Okay, so there's still a lot to learn.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely an exciting area to watch.
Definitely.
What about cryotherapy? I've heard athletes rave about it, but I have to admit the idea of intentionally subjecting myself to freezing temperatures doesn't exactly sound appealing.
It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but cryotherapy has gained traction for its potential to reduce inflammation and pain.
But how does that work? Doesn't cold usually make pain worse?
It can, but cryotherapy utilizes extreme cold for a very short period, usually just a few minutes.
Okay.
This brief exposure triggers a cascade of physiological responses, including reduced blood flow, slowed nerve conduction, and the release of endorphins.
So it's like hitting the reset button on your inflammatory response.
Exactly.
I can see how that would be beneficial for athletes recovering from intense workouts or injuries.
Exactly. Cryotherapy is often used for muscle soreness, sprains, and other sports-related injuries. But it's also being explored for its potential benefits in managing chronic pain conditions, like arthritis.
So while it might sound a little extreme, there's some solid science behind it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see how these cutting-edge therapies are pushing the boundaries of pain management.
It is, and it highlights the fact that we're moving beyond a one-size-fits-all approach to pain. We're starting to recognize the complexity of pain and the need for individualized treatment strategies.
Absolutely. It's about finding what works best for each person, and it seems like non-invasive options are playing an increasingly important role in that. What else is out there?
Let's move on to a couple of therapies that have been around for centuries,
Okay.
but are gaining renewed attention in the modern world. Acupuncture and dry needling.
I've always been curious about acupuncture sticking needles into specific points on the body to relieve pain. It sounds a bit like magic.
It might seem that way, but there's a growing understanding of the underlying mechanisms.
Okay.
Acupuncture is thought to stimulate the release of endorphins, modulate nerve activity, and improve blood flow.
So it's not just about hitting a pressure point or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a more complex interplay happening within the body.
Exactly. Acupuncture is based on the principles of traditional Chinese medicine, which views the body as an interconnected system of energy pathways.
Okay. So what about dry needling? Is that basically the same thing?
While both involve inserting thin needles into the body, dry needling is more focused on releasing trigger points in muscles that can cause pain and restricted movement.
Okay.
And it's often used by physical therapists to address musculoskeletal pain and dysfunction.
So both therapies target specific points, but dry needling is more focused on muscular issues, while acupuncture takes a more holistic approach.
You got it. And both have shown promising results for a variety of pain conditions, including back pain, neck pain, headaches, and even fibromyalgia.
This is all incredibly interesting. Before we move on to the next set of therapies, I have a quick question. Are there any specific conditions where acupuncture or dry needling would be considered the go-to treatment, or are they more like complementary therapies?
That's a great question. And while they can be helpful on their own, they're often used as part of a comprehensive pain management plan.
Okay.
Especially for chronic conditions. Their effectiveness can also vary, depending on the individual and the specific type of pain.
That makes sense. It's all about finding the right combination of therapies to address the unique needs of each person. This has been a fascinating deep dive so far, but we've got more ground to cover. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore even more incredible advancements in non-invasive pain relief.
Welcome back to our exploration of non-invasive pain relief. It's remarkable how many options are available, each with its unique approach to addressing pain.
I know, right? We've already covered a lot of ground, from light therapy to needling techniques, but I'm eager to hear what else is out there, what other therapies are making waves in the field of pain management.
Let's talk about a therapy that utilizes the power of sound waves, ESWT, or extracorporeal shockwave therapy.
ESWT. Okay, that one's new to me. How does sound play a role in pain relief?
ESWT involves delivering targeted pulses of acoustic energy, essentially sound waves, to injured tissues.
Okay.
These sound waves create microtrauma, which triggers a healing response, promoting tissue regeneration and reducing pain.
So it's like a controlled injury that kickstarts the body's natural healing mechanisms. Interesting. What types of pain does ESWT work best for?
ESWT has been particularly effective for conditions like plantar fasciitis, tennis elbow, and Achilles tendonitis. It's also shown promise for bone fractures that are slow to heal.
It's amazing how something as simple as sound waves can have such a profound impact on healing. I'm also curious about laser therapy. I've seen it advertised alongside red light therapy. Are they similar?
While both therapies utilize light, laser therapy differs in its intensity and focus.
Okay.
It uses a highly concentrated beam of light to penetrate deeper into tissues, stimulating cellular processes that promote healing and reduce pain.
So it's like a more targeted and precise version of red light therapy.
That's a good way to think about it. Yeah.
What types of conditions can benefit from laser therapy?
Laser therapy has been used to treat a range of musculoskeletal conditions, including back pain, neck pain, and carpal tunnel syndrome. It's also gaining popularity for wound healing and reducing scar tissue.
It's incredible how light can be harnessed for both pain relief and aesthetic purposes. Now, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked a lot about high-tech therapies, but what about more hands-on approaches?
Chiropractic care is a great example of a hands-on therapy that's been used for pain management for centuries.
Oh.
It focuses on the relationship between the spine and the nervous system.
I've heard of chiropractic adjustments, but I've always been a little apprehensive about someone cracking my back. What's the thinking behind these adjustments?
Chiropractic care is based on the principle that misalignments in the spine can interfere with nerve function, leading to pain and dysfunction. Adjustments aim to restore proper alignment, alleviating pressure on nerves and promoting healing.
So it's not just about relieving back pain, but also addressing potential nerve-related issues that could manifest elsewhere in the body.
That's right. Chiropractors often treat neck pain, headaches, and even extremity pain that may stem from spinal misalignments.
That's a much more holistic perspective than I initially imagined. And now, what about massage therapy? I tend to think of it as more of a relaxation technique, but can it actually help with pain management?
Absolutely. Massage therapy involves the manipulation of soft tissues like muscles and fascia to relieve tension, improve circulation, and reduce pain.
So there's more to it than just feeling good. For sure. What are some specific examples of how massage therapy can target pain?
Different types of massage address different needs. Swedish massage is gentle and relaxing.
Right.
While deep tissue massage focuses on releasing chronic muscle tension, sports massage is tailored for athletes, and myofascial release targets the fascia, a connective tissue that surrounds muscles.
It's interesting how there's a specific type of massage for practically every type of pain or discomfort. Now, I know we've been focusing on physical therapies, but what about the role of the mind in pain management?
That's a crucial aspect and one that's often overlooked. The mind-body connection is incredibly powerful, and there's growing recognition of the impact that mindfulness practices can have on pain perception.
I've heard about meditation and mindfulness for stress reduction, but how do they actually help with pain?
When we're in pain, our minds tend to fixate on the sensation,
right,
which can amplify the experience. Mindfulness practices like meditation help us shift our attention away from the pain, allowing us to observe it without judgment and reduce its emotional impact.
So it's not about ignoring the pain, but rather changing how we relate to it.
Exactly. It's about developing a sense of awareness and acceptance, which can empower individuals to manage their pain more effectively.
It sounds like a valuable tool, especially for those dealing with chronic pain where the emotional burden can be significant.
You're absolutely right. Mindfulness-based stress reduction programs are becoming increasingly popular for managing chronic pain conditions, such as fibromyalgia and back pain.
Wow.
They offer a way to cultivate resilience and coping mechanisms.
That's incredibly encouraging. It seems like there's a whole world of non-invasive options out there, from high-tech therapies to ancient practices. It's truly remarkable how much progress has been made in the field of pain management.
It is, and it reflects a growing understanding of the complexity of pain and the need for personalized approaches.
Yeah.
What works for one person may not work for another.
Right.
So having a diverse toolkit of options is essential.
I completely agree. Now I'm ready to delve into even more fascinating therapies in our final segment. Welcome back, everyone. We're wrapping up our deep dive into the world of non-invasive pain relief, And it's been quite a journey so far.
It really has. We've explored cutting-edge technologies, ancient practices, and even the power of the mind in managing pain.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of all these new therapies, but I'm curious about those that have stood the test of time. What about yoga and Tai Chi? I know they're often touted for their health benefits, but can they really help with pain relief?
Absolutely. Both yoga and Tai Chi involve gentle movements, controlled breathing, and mindfulness, which work synergistically to improve flexibility, strengthen muscles, and enhance posture.
So it's not just about relaxation and stress reduction. There's a real impact on the physical body as well.
Exactly. By improving overall body mechanics and reducing tension, yoga and Tai Chi can alleviate pain, particularly for conditions like back pain, neck pain, and arthritis.
That makes sense. It's about addressing the underlying causes of pain rather than just masking the symptoms. Now, I've tried yoga before, but I've always found it a bit challenging to maintain those poses. Is there a particular type of yoga that's best for pain relief?
There are many different styles of yoga, each with its own focus and intensity level for pain relief. Gentle styles like Hatha yoga or restorative yoga are often recommended. These styles emphasize slow, controlled movements and holding poses for longer periods, allowing for deep stretching and relaxation.
Okay, so it's not about being super flexible or contorting yourself into pretzel shapes. It's more about finding a practice that feels good and supports your body's needs.
Exactly, and the beauty of yoga is that it can be adapted to suit individuals of all ages and abilities. Even simple stretches and breathing exercises can make a difference in managing pain.
I like that it's about finding what works for you and making it a part of your daily routine. Now, earlier we touched on the power of the mind in pain management. Are there any specific mindfulness techniques that you recommend for those seeking relief?
There are many different approaches, but one that's widely practiced and supported by research is mindfulness meditation. It involves focusing your attention on the present moment, observing thoughts and sensations without judgment.
I've heard about mindfulness meditation, but to be honest, I've always struggled to quiet my mind. Do you have any tips for beginners?
It's definitely a practice, and it takes time and patience. One helpful tip is to focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of each inhale and exhale, and gently redirect your attention back to your breath whenever your mind wanders.
Okay, that sounds doable. So it's about acknowledging those distracting thoughts, but not getting carried away by them.
Yeah, exactly. The goal is not to empty your mind completely, but rather to cultivate a sense of awareness and acceptance of whatever arises. And as you practice, you'll gradually develop the ability to observe your thoughts and sensations with more detachment, which can reduce their impact on your experience of pain.
That's a powerful concept. It's about shifting your perspective and empowering yourself to take control of your pain response. Now, before we wrap up, I'd love to get your take on the future of pain management with so many promising non-invasive options emerging. What do you see on the horizon?
I believe we're moving towards a more holistic and personalized approach to pain care, one where individuals have access to a wider range of options and are empowered to make informed choices about their treatment. We're also seeing a growing emphasis on preventative measures and lifestyle modifications that can help reduce the risk of developing chronic pain.
That's encouraging. It sounds like pain management is becoming less about simply treating symptoms and more about understanding the complex interplay of physical, emotional, and lifestyle factors.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that pain is a multifaceted experience and that there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
And what role do you see technology playing in this evolution of pain management?
Technology is already playing a significant role, from the development of new therapies to the creation of digital tools that help individuals track their pain, manage their medications, and connect with healthcare providers. And as technology continues to advance, I think we can expect to see even more innovative solutions that empower individuals to take control of their pain.
This has been an absolutely fascinating deep dive into the world of non-invasive pain relief. We've covered so much ground, from cutting-edge therapies like shockwave therapy and laser therapy to ancient practices like yoga and mindfulness meditation. But perhaps the biggest takeaway for our listeners is that there is hope. There are effective, non-invasive options available that can help individuals find relief and regain control of their lives.
And I couldn't agree more. The field of pain management is constantly evolving, and there's never been a more exciting time to explore the possibilities.
So if you're struggling with pain, don't give up hope. Talk to your healthcare provider, do your research, and consider exploring some of these non-invasive options. You might be surprised at what you discover. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.